Oh boy, that's probably the only way to really put, especially with the latest Dark Gathering episode. We got a couple episodes to talk about, but really it's the Star Attraction is the newest one that came out yesterday. It is, wow, that is without a doubt the most messed up, heffed up thing you're probably going to see this season unless Dark Gathering wants to keep upping the ante, which they probably will, because it's one thing to have a forced pregnancy ghost story. It's a whole other can of worms when the story goes from father accidentally kills mother, demonic people come in, manipulate daughter's head to the point of wanting to conceive child with father, it ends up killing, and then it's just like this endless forced pregnancy to get the miracle child right. And this is the abomination we're left with, and I'm just like, bruh, there ain't no time of the day, no amount of cups of coffee that was preparing me for the nonsense that I just experienced. But this is why I keep saying Dark Gathering is easily my favorite horror anime, and we're not even done its first season yet. Full live reactions of both of these episodes over on my Patreon if you would like to see those. The latest episode, there was moments where my mouth was just hanging open, man. I'm just like, nah, there ain't no way. And just, the most interesting thing is, as the number one Eiko hater, I really appreciate how they made me, like, appreciate her additions these past two episodes. Sure, we do have a psycho little girl, Yayoi, who gets her to be drugged right back into the thick of the horror after she finally has a realization that, hey, maybe my fetish towards the horror isn't the most healthy thing ever. But I appreciate the fact that not only did they give my boy a much-needed vacation, like, he was not looking good. Could you imagine, okay, like, look at him in the car at the start of last week's episode, and then look at this moment when this beast is sitting in the back seat. If you would have had my boy looking like he's starving Arvin, and then you have a slit throat, and then you had the forced abomination in the back, no, like, he deserved his time off, and surprisingly, he apparently has sisters who like to kind of poke fun at his little crush. But overall, I appreciate the fact that instead of forcing him once again, they said, hey, let's take a step back. Our boy's one mission away from being dead, so instead, what we're gonna do is we're going to humanize Eiko into having these issues, having these self-doubt motivations, and the idea of Yayoi just being her, being like, well, we got another mission, gotta catch them all, and her actually being legitimately scared, and not in a way that is exciting her, but legitimately is terrifying her. It is giving her a much-needed wake-up call while still staying true to the kind of idea that these three are going to keep on tackling horrifying atmospheres, but at the same time, we are seeing actual character development, which is what you want to see. And by allowing her to just call him up, I thought she was dragging his ass into this. I was like, you can't, no, my boy deserves his vacation, right? No, she just wanted to pick me up. Some encouragement because she was about to get an abortion, and honestly, it went as painless as it could possibly be after that thing forced itself down her throat, and not in a fun way. I'm just like, what in the hell was this Dark Gathering episode, and this arc in general? Like, the idea of just going online, basically it's like the Craigslist of properties that apparently even a high schooler or a college student could probably afford if they had a decent part-time job, because it's haunted beyond belief. But that whole story and the idea of leading them in, because what started off as like, okay, it's not really that creepy. It's like, it's creepy, but it's not scary, right? Like, yeah, the walls and the distortion, it's going a little weird. But like, once you see what happened with the family and like the idea, like at first I was like, are they actually committing to it? Because you can't really, like, they're under the covers, but I'm like, maybe they're not. And I was like, wait a second, we're in the forced pregnancy arc. They're absolutely going that way. And then the killing of the fetus, and then just it just rapid fires, man, into such chaos. And I like the idea. I mean, it's disgusting, it's twisted, it's horrifying. But I like the idea of what they went for this arc. So the idea of why it targets Eiko over Yayoi, well, one's gone through puberty and can bear a child, the other can't. But most importantly, like any female who enters here, it's like this endless cycle of them trying to get it right. And within, I think they said 10 days or something, like the forced pregnancy happens. It's really, really messed up. Like, this is legitimately peak horror designed for a what the hell, that's what? Like, that is what you want to see this deep into a series. And the thing that I've been saying ever since we've had a couple of ghost encounters is that they never do the same thing twice. And this is a great example of, like, if they would have dropped this at the beginning of the show, I think it would have been hard to live up to that in the coming arcs given what we saw it do. But by properly escalating in the way that they are, and by actually letting the Central 3 develop, like, Yayoi is the one who technically has developed the least just because of, well, we know where she starts. She's kind of like the anchor, the main fighting force. But we are progressing nonetheless to getting her more and more closure, as both our boy, I mean, Keitaro deserves the damn world after what he's been through, And the fact that Eiko legitimately has probably the most interesting characterization that we've seen over the show so far, at least based on what I'm seeing over the past 2 episodes, this is some good shit. Like, it's disturbing. The color palette, the distortion, the sound effects, like that thing like saying mama was so weird. It was like, if you watch this show with headphones, you don't have to even like watch in the pitch black. Just watch with headphones, and the shit that goes on sound-wise is so messed up. Like, the moment at the very end when she falls down the well and she's like trying to cover her breath, she doesn't want to have this freak baby try to go inside her. And then the phone goes off and you hear her panting, she looks up, just everything about that scene is just 10 out of 10. And it's so interesting because we usually have three. We have these three do things, or it's usually our boy and Yayoi. But this time, we let Eiko kind of have like Keitero's role, and in doing so, she actually feels like what we normally view our boy as, but this time, instead of the psycho smiles of basically the darkest pits of hell, we have someone who's like not only suffering some horrifying shit that you wish she wasn't, because ain't no one deserved that, but most importantly, it allows for us to, whatever your opinion of her character was, just be like, yup, this is gonna change her. She'll still go after horror, I'm sure, but I would have to imagine a bit of this is gonna have to change if this is what you're going through. I mean, this is not a pleasant experience, to put it nicely. It is messed up, and honestly, I'm baffled. I'm baffled by what they've been able to accomplish here, and honestly, this show does just keep me more and more interested as the weeks go by, and yeah, we still have this arc next episode, but I'm just like, what the hell are they going for next? Tunnels are one thing. Trying to buy this property is a whole other can of worms that I am so glad I didn't have to open up, because fuck that. There's no other way to put that, to be honest. But honestly, knowing my luck, they're gonna somehow rope my boy in next week, and he's gonna have to come on in, he's gonna be scootering in, bicycling in, and he's gonna have to deal with some bullshit. But either way, there ain't no way that she can convince Keitaro that it's his kid, because ain't no one paying child support for that nonsense. I don't know, like, last week's episode, good setup, kind of getting the ball moving, feeling like, okay, we're gonna see Eiko change, and then nothing really happens by the end. It kind of feels like she's just jumping back in, enjoying the horror. But then the latest episode comes around and says, actually, no, like, yeah, there's some changes happening with her character, and I do appreciate what they did. The VA's knocking it out of the park, the production holding out very strong, and that sound direction can't be complimented enough. But let me know your thoughts on the past couple of Dark Gathering episodes down below, and what are you hoping to see with the finale of whatever the hell they're gonna do with the, this is why you gotta abort these fetuses, because ain't no one got time for this nonsense. So let me know your thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel, and like I mentioned, we have full live reaction to both of these episodes over on my Patreon. I also give video shoutouts as well if you're interested. So, until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.